Hello everybody. I thought I would do a planner video that kind of showed you guys, I know a lot of like the planner videos and everything all have like a ton of stickers and just an excess of stuff and crafts and things that, you know, people can do with stickers and designs and stuff like that. And I wanted to do something that kind of showed that you didn't necessarily need all of that to get anything done. I mean, honestly, if you have a pen and a planner, you can do, you know, all sorts of really fun designs and things like that. And so I just kind of wanted to show you guys a few ideas just to like, it's so intimidating. Like, to be honest, it took me so long to get into the planner stuff because I was so intimidated by everybody who had these like gorgeous spreads with all the stickers. And I know that's what I do now, but I didn't start out that way. And sometimes I always go back, you know, I can go back to these minimalist spreads and things like that that don't necessarily require all of the stickers and washi tapes and all that sort of stuff. And I can still get stuff done and do what I need to do and find some simplicity. And it doesn't make my planner any less functional or, you know, whatever it is. And I know that I'm exploring a lot of things, but you don't necessarily need all of the things to accomplish what you want. And so, or to use a planner at all. And so I thought I'd show just a couple ideas for people who maybe, whether you do time blocking, whether you do memory keeping, all that sort of stuff. If you don't have stickers or you don't have the budget to, you know, kind of do that sort of stuff, there are so many things around that you can actually do with your planners and stuff like that. And so I just wanted to go through a couple of the things that I did. Really, literally all you need is a ruler if you're super obsessive with straight lines and a pen. And I added a couple highlighted things just to kind of show that you know, maybe if you wanted to add another simple tool. But I thought a really fun way to go through is like to show you all of these things that I did to kind of show you how I used to use mine when I was time blocking before I had Violet to, you know, kind of mess up my schedule to where I, you know, don't necessarily have like a list of things and times that I do things. And so I thought the first one, it's really, really simple, literally just like a bracket. The other ones, these are all like, basically I did all of this with a ruler and I did it in like 5 minutes. I didn't necessarily want to go through like all of that with you guys, like just to show you, but this one is super, super simple. And it kind of like, I mean, you can do a regular box, but adding this little shadow at the bottom is super, super easy. You just put your ruler down just a little bit further and kind of give a little angle there. And it makes life, like it just kind of makes that box pop. And you can obviously write everything that you're doing in there. The other option is to make that a little bit thicker, obviously, and do a little bit of a shadow as well as that. And so for people too who have maybe some overlapping time blocking things, or maybe if you're not even using it for time blocking, so if you're not using this side and you're just writing things and creating boxes and stuff like that, you can do these side by side and kind of write what you need in there. And it's a really cool way, like you can obviously design it across the entire page however you want and use it that way if you so desire. And so that's a lot of fun, and you can kind of pair the boxes and match them all up. And just kind of create your own pattern that way as well. You can also use it as a time blocking thing, and it looks super functional throughout your weekly planner. And then of course we have some more brackets down here. I used to do this a lot in mine just because I liked the simplicity of it. I used to do it on the outside of the box as well, and like this will show you that like, I mean, I freehanded this one. I did not actually use a ruler for this one down here. And I kind of did that on purpose to show that like, you don't have to make it perfect either. You can kind of literally just do your thing, and you can have messy handwriting, and that doesn't make your planner any less like useful. Keep in mind that this is your planner, and you can take pictures of it. It can be messy as long as it works and does what you want it to do. If your goal is to, you know, do a certain project or keep track of your time or keep track of your schedule, do whatever you need to do that helps you actually use the planner as you want. And so whatever, any of these obviously, you know, kind of show a little bit of organization. But if that doesn't work for you, that's okay too. And so so moving on to the next options is, you know, kind of like these brackets here. You could overlap them. Obviously, you can write wherever you want to in these, and it kind of shows anything overlapping. You can make them, you know, kind of diagonal, go in any sort of direction that you want and kind of create a pattern out of that. Here is another example of like 3 different examples of like boxes that you can do. So obviously you can put your title of whatever you need to do here, whatever's happening during that time. You have options to kind of do borders. Now I only did like dots and flowers. If you're more creative than me, go for it. Do whatever you want in these corners, or even, you know, put something here. I'm not artistic at all. And so I just kind of did something that I knew was easy, which is flowers and dots. But obviously you can do whatever sort of design you want in here. You can do little curls, you can do, you know, whatever you want in those sorts of things. 2 other options for like time blocking things is just kind of like a solid box here. Now, this one obviously doesn't have any color. If you have colored pens, that's a great option. Highlighters are also a great option. So you can also kind of color code the work that you're doing in their planner with that. And then of course, just like a simple arrow. And honestly, if you have more talent than I do, you can do all sorts of really cool things. So if you have an idea like for borders and things like this, I printed this out from Pinterest. Like there is nothing special about this except that I printed it out. And you can do all sorts of borders and things like that in your planner as a list or a time blocking thing. So don't like, yes, I have like an arrow here. You can put a design in here. You can do whatever you want. And that is totally up to you. The other option is like, if you aren't using the time blocking method and you just have like specific categories or lists, things that you know, want to do, you can obviously do bullets inside a box like this. Now, this is one of my favorites. I never really, thank you, blowing us raspberries. I like always was like, oh, I have to have straight lines, so I have to use a ruler. And then I saw somebody do a video where they created like simple boxes using just freehand and like made it look purposeful. And I thought that was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like that actually looks really cool. And so I've been trying to use that more in my planner as well. So that was kind of fun to kind of discover this one. And so definitely excited about using that more. Just a free-handed box. You don't even need a ruler. It's super easy. Now the next option is obviously super minimalist. You don't have to do anything. You can literally just put your text right there next to the time and then text, you know, during the next thing as well. And so I actually really like that option. I have a couple more boxes that I thought of later, like doing any sort of pattern like this. Again, if you like print something out and copy it that way, like I cannot draw this ever. And so I printed it out and I'll often stick it under and use a highlighted light so that I can, you know, kind of trace these patterns. And that is totally up to you to design your planner however you want. And super, super easy to just kind of do those boxes. So the other thing too, I wanted to do a couple ones that were like simple with the highlighter, which obviously includes like time blocking here. And so just kind of highlighting that. You can obviously highlight just in the space here. Or if you want a combination, I just drew this box again and put a little highlight there. And so that's another really easy way to kind of color code things. So if you have a lot of highlighters that you want to use and you're not really sure, you know, how to kind of use them and incorporate them in your planner, using it like this is actually, it's very simple, but it gives you a lot of options. And then obviously up here, I did another one of those free-handed boxes to kind of like, if, you know, so if you kind of look at this, it's really hard to kind of get that evened up. And so if you want to kind of make it look purposeful, you could just put like a box around this and then it kind of looks like you did everything on purpose, which is super, super cool and gives you a lot of really cool options for creating a box and creating something, you know, kind of intentional with that. Now, the other thing that, like, if you're not into, you know, kind of the minimalist thing, the other thing that I do is I print out a bunch of, like, pictures and things like that that I can trace onto my page. So I can, you know, kind of arrange these however I want, and I can just draw them on. The other option is to print out pictures and paste them in yourself. So if you really like certain layouts or something like that that you see online, you can always print it out and either trace or just paste it in there, cut and paste. I have my, I'll pull my planner down here. So something that I do with my thing is a vision board. And for like, I have always put these sorts of pictures, you know, kind of just pasted them directly into my planner. And that's a lot of fun. And so let's see if I actually have one in here for, I had a book release. And so what I did was, it would be in a planner. See, I have so many planners. I'm sorry, guys. But I'll show you that, you know, I kind of just, so obviously here are some stickers, very simple, but I just kind of printed out things and pasted them in. Just things that I had some fun with, some artwork, stuff like that. And this just kind of shows an example of how kind of crazy my planner is and how many different styles I've kind of tried along the way. And so this one's a lot of fun. So here I had a book release. And so I, you know, printed out the cover of the book. You know, I literally just printed these out from the internet, and that's super cool, super, super easy. And then the other option that you have too is to do magazines. So anytime you have like a magazine that you get that's kind of junk, you can like cut out things that you like out of that magazine and kind of use it as a design if you want. And so like, obviously these are, you know, super simple and just kind of random things, but, you know, printing out pictures, using magazines. We went on a vacation, so I painted that stuff, just little things like that, give you a lot of options for designs, and you don't necessarily have to have a lot. You can print things, you know, from your computer and not have to worry about, you know, book covers, you know, whatever it is that you're doing at the time. So this came from, you know, our friends threw a baby shower for us. And so this came from the baby shower. And then of course, magazines, it didn't quite fit in here. And so I cut it to match here. I traced that, you know, I traced this and kind of paired it with a lot of other things. And, you know, that's kind of, there's a lot going on, but it just gives you a lot of options that you don't necessarily have to have the prettiest planner. You don't necessarily have to buy all the stickers. There are a lot of options available that are super, super cheap or even free. You know, if you just have a pen and a planner, you don't need much else. You can make do, and you can find a way to kind of make it functional and work for you. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of show you guys that, show you what I do, and hopefully give you a couple ideas so that you're not intimidated necessarily about, you know, all of this, you know, planner stuff, and you see all these beautiful spreads and it's kind of, you know, it's overwhelming sometimes. And so I wanted to kind of encourage anybody to kind of jump into planners and do whatever they want and just kind of have some fun with it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, I would love to have you on board. I'm going to be doing a lot more planner videos in the coming weeks. And so I'm really excited to have you along, and I'll see you guys next time.